What's going on, guys? Your boy Maze. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, me going over the brand new demonic beast mode for Creature's Nest, the Proof of Courage, and going over how you guys can actually clear all three of the main bird, deer, and skull and hottie for the first difficulty here, guys. So I was able to do it on my free-to-play account on JP, and I thought I would compile the clips of where I actually did each floor. So I streamed bird and the deer. I streamed that on Friday, and I recorded skull and hottie I think a few hours ago today. So I'm recording this on Saturday, so I was actually able to beat skull and hottie. So yeah, we're gonna pretty much show you guys the team comp, the gear that I was using, and then we're gonna go over the strategy in the actual video. I'll show you the gameplay and everything, and I'll talk over like my clips, and I'll give you guys an idea of like the mechanics and whatever I've learned so far that I can try and help you guys out with. But yeah, man, pretty much this is the team comp right here, guys. You do have Freyr with Tarmiel Link. I do have Green Brunhild here with Sariel Link. Nanashi is on the team as well, and then he has Ultimate Esmer Link, or just your highest CC 6 out of 6 Link. And then I do have the LR Elizabeth with the Red Fat King Link. And then for the card set, I am running basic stat card set, so it's the one that prevents you from getting frozen at maximum ultimate move gauge, and it also does give you 10% basic stats. And then for the gear, guys, we are actually running attack crew resistance or HP crew resistance across the entire team. And the reason why we actually decided on this gear set is because when you're actually doing the fight, there is a passive that you can get on the first on the bird right here, right? And it's where is it? It is this passive right here, and this passive, pretty much the way it works is that whenever you get crit on, you get a critical defense lower, or a defense related stat lower that you pretty much don't want to get, right? So if I run crew resistance gear, it's kind of like skull and hottie, where I recommend people to run Donar attack crew resistance. You kind of want to do the same thing, but for the entire team, pretty much, guys. So when we're actually showing off the team here, this is the strategy, and you run attack crew resistance gear, crew resistance rolls on the actual pieces, so you can see around like 20-ish%, right? And then on the HP gears, it's literally same thing, so like 20-ish% as well. And then everything else is your standard like attack, attack on the top pieces, HP on the bottom rolls, right? But it's gonna be HP crew resistance Liz, HP crew resistance Nanashi, and then attack crew resistance for Brunhild and Freyr right there, guys. So that's pretty much the gear right there. And then for the links, it's just your like triple defense, HP defense. You just want to make sure that Freyr has the lowest HP, because he can actually mess up with LR Liz for the final fight when you're fighting skull and hottie. It can actually mess with her for being the lowest HP, just because that these characters right here, especially LR Liz, she's not really getting buffed by these three characters. These three characters are mainly benefiting each other, right? So like Freyr has his relic where he's giving the 5% basic stats per Ragnarok or unknown unit, so they get 15% basic stats. You have Nanashi giving 30% to Freyr and himself, and then also benefiting from Freyr's as well. And then like Brunhild has her own basic stats from her passive, so LR Liz is a little bit lower than the rest of the team, but that is pretty much the setup that you guys want to run, man, in terms of the like main gear. So attack crew resistance, HP crew resistance, HP crew resistance, and yeah. This is the team that was able to beat all three floors of the first difficulty. I also was able to clear, as you guys could see, the first first stage of the second difficulty. So let me know in the comment section below if you guys want to see a video covering this, because I actually was able to get from the shop 2 UR pendants just by doing this, and it wasn't actually that bad. I actually did on my first try. So yeah, if you guys want to see a video on just this phase right here for my free-to-play account, I'll definitely do a video discussing it. Yeah, man, that's pretty much that out of the way. I just wanted to kind of explain the gear that I was running, and then we can actually hop in here, guys, and I'll explain the run and pretty much my thought process going into a lot of this stuff. Alright, guys, so here's the run that I actually did on stream. So you guys can see the first two like floors of the actual demonic beast mode, so the bird and the deer. I actually did stream it, and I tried doing skull and hottie on stream as well, but I wasn't actually able to get the win, guys, so unfortunately we weren't able to do that. But yeah, man, we do have the video on ×2 speed here, so we kind of get through it a little bit quickly. But yeah, I'll explain pretty much the mechanics. So bird right here on the first floor, you're gonna get auto debuffed, and it's a all stat lower. And the bird, pretty much the way it works is that if you are debuffed, he's pretty much gonna one bang you. He has like an effect where he will one bang you on the first card that he uses if you're debuffed. So you want to always have like a cleanse effect, right? That was the main thing that I noticed when doing this phase of the bird, is that you get debuffed a lot. And also, if you don't damage him on the first hit, and every hit following that, so if you like pretty much you patience, then the bird will actually get an all stats buff, and every time you keep patiencing, he'll get more and more and more all stats. So you don't want to be doing that. right? So yeah, as you can see, I'm pretty much just cycling ultimate here with Elizabeth, guys, just to make sure that the team gets fully healed up. You know, we get like cleanses and all of that. And then hopping into the second phase right there, you want to make sure that you get that crit resistance, you know, or not crit resistance, but the defense related lower passive that I was saying right there, right? It's very, very important because if you don't get that passive, then you're not going to be doing too well on the later floors, because the whole point we're running crit resistance gear is because of that passive. So right here, as you guys can see, the boss has a ton of immortalities, and the way you actually lower those immortalities is by using specific card effects in the game. I haven't tested every single card effect, but from what I know, the ones that actually increase the immortality, which is really bad, so don't use these card effects. It's Flood, Amplify, and then Pierce Rate. So those three, Pierce Rate times 3, those 3 card effects will actually increase the immortality, which is bad because then, you know, he has more immortalities. But the other card effects like Cleave, Detonate, and I think it's yeah, no, Cleave, Detonate, Power Strike. Power Strike is the best one, and then Cleave and Detonate do 1 gauge or a 1 immortality per hit. And as you guys are watching the video, you'll notice it, right? But yeah, that's pretty much the strat you're trying to do. And the boss only has 1 HP, so you're pretty much removing these immortalities. Pretty much keep attacking him, right? Every time you remove an immortality, it gets lower and lower, and once it gets to 0, that's when you can kill him. And so pretty much this phase is going to be very easy. And once you guys get like the idea of actually like, you know, doing it, so when this actually does come to global and you guys are clearing for it, this will be pretty helpful. But yeah, not too bad. So as you can see right there, I'm just kind of clearing my hand for the cards, and then we do get a cleave card, so we can, you know, shred 1, and pretty much we're just stalling till we get those cards, right? It's gonna be hard to obviously get it, you know, completely, but you want to pretty much always have those cards. And so like that's from the first phase, I was saving all my Power Strike cards because you know, you shred the immortalities like fairly quickly when doing that, right? So as you guys can see, like the ultimates and stuff, they don't do anything, so it has to be Detonate, Cleave, or Power Strike. And then I know Amplify, Pierce Ray, and Flood, those card effects actually give him extra immortalities, which as I explained is really bad. So you don't want him to increase his immortalities, because then you're just never going to beat him, right? So there is that. I think there are a few that actually do give him 4, and then also some that remove 4. I could be wrong, but I think Power Strike Ultimate also does remove 4 as well, but you're not running Miguelda. I did test her out, but that's where I like got the idea. But yeah, man, that's pretty much the strat for the bird. Very easy. I think the bird is definitely the easiest part, and then we do hop into the deer here. So yeah, man, and I think this run that I did on the deer, it just took me 1 run. Like I didn't have any issues here. Let me just check just to make sure. Yeah, it was literally only 1 run. So as we hop in here, guys, to the deer, the thing is with the deer is that there's a lot of intricacies that you need to know about. Okay, so the first things first is that for every buff on yourself, the deer actually gets basic stats. This is something that you can't really counteract because you're running Nanashi. You're going to be just getting a ton of them regardless. So your main way of kind of dealing with the boss here is by following the mechanics, right? So I'll explain the mechanics as well. So you guys saw there, the bird or the deer, usually on regular deer, right, you have to color cycle. On this deer, you have to do 3 of the same color card, which actually will remove the type effective version of your, you know, the typing. So like as you can see here, I'm doing 3 Brunhild attacks, which is gonna remove blue because green is super effective against blue, so the blue damage reduction. And the deer has damage reduction for every single color from the start, and he will pretty much have increased basic stats for every single one that he has. So you want to lower them, you want to remove them pretty much, and that's what's going to help you. So you want to have, you know, right here I don't have triple blue, so I have to do triple red again, just so that I don't get sealed. And then yeah, if you attack off color, so like let's say I do like red blue or like anything like that, then you're gonna get sealed the moment you use the blue card attack sealed, right? So you're pretty much banking on the fact that you can top deck cards, and it becomes a very RNG reliant fight here where you're kind of just stalling for the cards you need, and you need to get them very, very early on or you're going to get kind of screwed. And the boss has so much HP to the point where you're not going to really be clearing the phase that fast. It's going to take you a while. That's why I have the video at times too, because the deer is probably the longest part of the entire like Demonic Beast mode, right? So right there, we have fully removed all of the, you know, the red, blue, and the green damage reductions. And so now we can actually deal a lot more damage when actually doing our skills. And so right here, as you guys saw, I only did 2 red skills right there because we didn't top deck. So you can do that as well, right? If you don't get extra cards, you can feel free to just use like the 2 color cards that you have. If you don't have like a full set, you want to make sure that you have at least 3 of one color when you're attacking so that you don't have too many issues. And you'll see right here, I do like triple Brunhild, and like even using ultimates is fine fine because you could just drop the ultimate and then you'll be okay. And then yeah, we're just kind of cycling ultimates here, going through the phase, just trying to make sure that we can deal as much damage as possible while making sure we do those triple color attacks every single turn, right? And I think, yeah, doing 4 attacks doesn't change anything. You can still do it, and it's not gonna, you know, change too much of the fight here. But yeah, that's pretty much the main strategy for this first phase, guys. It's gonna take a while, and you definitely want to keep cycling Liz ultimates, but it's gonna be pretty useful. And as I mentioned at the beginning, you want to have Freyr lowest HP because, as you can see, he's getting targeted, and the Tarmiel Link is helping really like insane amount of healing right there, because of the way that Freyr works and with how much all stats he has. So like pretty much going through like that whole phase right there, I'm doing really well, right? And then yeah, so right here, Freyr's taking like a ton of single target damage, and we do just cleanse right there, and you will get ult sealed by the AoE from the deer, by the way. So that is another thing to kind of worry about, but not necessarily too much. So yeah, that is pretty much the first phase right there, guys. So the second phase is actually not as long when we get into it. So right after this turn right here, we actually do move into the second phase. So we do the single target Freyr. I drop the ultimate, and I know that's gonna kill just because we'll have the damage dealt. So boom, he's dead, and then we actually move into the second phase here. And for the second phase, you're pretty much going to want to do the exact same thing, and as you guys can see, he has the immortality. You have to do the triple of each color so that you can remove the immortality. So you have to do it on the second phase, whereas the first phase you don't have to. You are incentivized to do it, but you don't have to actually do it, which yeah, that's pretty much the way it goes about. So yeah, right there, he goes for the AoE, and then he does have Infect now on the second phase, which is definitely a lot more difficult to deal with. So having that, you know, cleanse card with Elizabeth is going to be really nice, so you can actually cleanse that. I actually didn't get too many of those cleanse cards. I did get a few, so that wasn't too bad. But yeah, and then on this phase, he is going to be critting you a lot, so you want to make sure that you do block effect him, which is something you definitely can do by having the Tarmiel Link, and it's very clutch. Every time you take 2 hits, you apply the block effect, and then you're doing really good. So right here, I was kind of thinking like how I want to go about this, but I wanted to do a triple attack right here just to remove the green. But I didn't necessarily know how I'd go about it, so I just dropped the 4 red just to remove it that way, and then I was like, okay, I think I have to drop the cleanse card right there, right? So we do the AoE with Liz right there, and then we follow up single target with Freyr, and we're doing a lot of damage, as you guys can see. Like, look at how much damage that was, man. That was really good. And then right here, he goes for a single target, goes for a double single target, and then goes for AoE. Oh no, he goes for the stance. And so because he has the stance right here, you can actually just not attack him this turn, and then pretty much stall. Like I had Yamcha in the chat, you guys can see it. Yamcha in the chat was telling me to stall, so I actually don't attack on that turn. But yeah, man, Tarmiel Link, super clutch. Look at Freyr's HP. Did you guys see that? Like Freyr's HP was like super low right there, right? So yeah, from right here, I was kind of contemplating, like, how do I go about it now? Do I go for the kill and get the win, right? I was like, you know, or should I, like, wait and stall for, like, a cleanse card, maybe? But I decided I would just go for the win, and even Yamcha was telling me, like, the dog part of the demonic beast mode, you don't need to have, like, full HP turn 1, because just because you're so tanky. Going into Skull and Hati, you won't have, like, too many issues, just because of the fact that you'll be, you know, in a good position, even if you're starting with, like, really low HP, because you could just heal it all back. Elizabeth is super clutch. So yeah, right here, I was just like, okay, let's just do, you know, triple Freyr right there just to finish it off. I wanted to play it safe because if I did Brunhild, she would only be the one that heals. And so I was just like, I just wanted to make sure we get the win. So that was pretty much the deer phase right there, guys. And now the final phase here I actually recorded on my own. So there's no chat or anything. This is where I actually had to do the run on my own. So yeah, this is pretty much it right here. So we're hopping into the Skull and Hati, and it's the exact same comp, nothing's changed. You guys can see the HP is still the same. And so right here, turn 1, I had to push up Elizabeth ultimate, so I move cards, and I use 2 of her cards, so I instantly get the ultimate, so that I can, you know, fill HP right there, and then just like give the gauge and all of that. So that's gonna be pretty good right there. And then as you guys will see here, the dog does not do any damage. I'm literally tanking all the damage that he's doing right now, which is super good, right? So yeah, right here, we do the Elizabeth ultimate, we follow up AoE with Liz, and then I'm just kind of wasting cards on the dog right here. The main phase with the dog here and what he does to you is that he will get a a buff cancel effect buff, so like you can't actually buff cancel him, which is going to be very annoying. And I think that's because you don't do a AoE skill, or you don't attack the left dog at all. And I think because the left dog has Tarmiel, like the Tarmiel stance, I think that counts as damaging him, so it actually counts to not give him the passive. I think that's the mechanic. I'm not too sure on that. Someone will have to clarify in the comment section below, but I think that's the mechanic from what I've like done when testing. So you guys will have to let me know if that is actually it. But from the looks of it, it's when you don't hit both the dogs, either the Tarmiel, like the stance it's hitting the left dog, or you actually do an AoE that hits the left dog. I think either of those things is good and you won't get the buff. But if you're only hitting the one dog, then he is going to get it. So that is something to definitely take into account. And that buff you don't want him to get, because you can't buff strip with Liz, and then when he starts getting like a ton of crazy buffs, you're gonna get a little screwed, and then that can become an issue. So yeah, with that out of the way, that's pretty much the first phase. So I'm kind of just stalling here just to get ultimates. You want to go into second phase with your full ultimates as well, just so that you can nuke the second phase and then immediately go into the final phase, because the whole mechanic with the final phase is that he has a ult seal for 3 turns, so you don't want to have a ultimate going into that phase, just because it's just going to be like a waste of your hand, right? If you have like multiple ultimates in your hand, it's just going to take up too much space and it's not going to be worth it. So, you know, I'm pretty much just wasting my ultimates here. I don't actually get the kill right there, and we're just like cycling ultimates with Liz. And that's pretty much like the main strategy here, guys. You just want to keep cycling ultimates as long as you can, you know, just get Elizabeth cards every single time. As long as you only do 1 card after an Elizabeth ult, you'll instantly get it anyway, right? Like, that's really good. So because of that, it becomes really nice. And then yeah, man, that's the strat. So, you know, right here, I'm doing AoEs and I'm hitting the side guys, and he's not getting any of the buffs. I think that is the mechanic actually, because that's the only time I really didn't see the what's it called, the guy get the buff, right? So yeah, right here, I do the Elizabeth ultimate, I do the double single target, or no, I do triple single target with Liz, or with Brunhild, I mean, just to make sure we get the kill and then move into the second phase. And then right here, we do the triple ultimate just so we can move past this phase and get out of it as fast as possible. I do have 4 to 6 Freyr, so we obviously bear that in mind. If you guys have less dupes, it could change the run. But 4 to 6 was a good chunk, and it was exactly how much I needed, because I do a follow-up attack anyway, and we get the kill. So I don't know if there's like any crazy mechanics on the second phase, but yeah, you just kind of blitz through it. You don't really stay on the second phase long. It's literally 1 turn, at least for most of my runs, right? So right here, I do the attacks on each of the dogs, right? Because remember, this also works on this phase where if you don't actually hit both the dogs, then they'll get that buff that I'm talking about, the buff cancel effect, and they'll also get like an attack up as well. So that's because you know, you're not hitting both of them. You have to hit both of them, right? So yeah, and then you also have to bank on the fact that both the dogs don't buff strip you. I think the dark dog can buff strip you. The light dog can take your gauge. So you want him to take your gauge preferably from like Liz, because, you know, Liz is always going to have an ultimate sealed, because it's going to be a 3-turn ult seal from the start of the turn, and it's a gray debuff ult seal. So it's not like you can just ult or anything like that and just start like cycling through for damage right that. It's just not going to be ideal, right? And yeah, I mean, a lot of the fight is going to be RNG based, where you need a lot of cleansing, you need a lot of Liz buff strips, right? It's a lot of, you know, just RNG. And I had so many runs here where I just like had dead runs because the dog would just, you know, brute force my Elizabeth. And I think that's what the issue was, is that it kept attacking my Elizabeth and I was getting screwed over, right? So you definitely don't want that to happen. But right here, we are taking a little bit of damage. I almost died right there too. But luckily we did get a buff strip to remove the extort, and then we just started attacking both the dogs, and I was like, okay, we can actually cycle ultimate here because I'm going to get Lizzle again, and then with that, we can actually kill both the dogs. And then yeah, we're doing pretty good damage though, man. Like, look how much HP the dogs have left, and we have you know, our ultimates again. And then this is pretty much the end of the fight right here, guys. So we're literally about to, you know, finish up. Right here was really just deciding like how I wanted to go about this like final part right here, right? Because the boss has the ultimate right there with that dog, but I wanted to see if I could get the kill. And so I didn't know necessarily if my attacks would actually finish him off, and I was a little bit hesitant, but I do drop the Nanashi ultimate first, and then I follow up with the Freyr ultimate to try and get that. And as you guys will see here, I actually do have a reset because it wasn't actually enough. So Nanashi has 184, Freyr does, what is that, like 400k, but right here I pause the game and I'm like, can I reset? So I try to do the reset and actually am able to do it. And so because of that, because of the reset, I do the Freyr ultimate first, and then I follow up with the Nanashi ultimate, and then the rank 2 with the Brunhild, and that actually gets me the win right there, guys. So it is a little RNG heavy kind of at the end there, but if you do get the good cards that you need, then you can finish it off. So that's pretty much the guide right there, man. I hope you guys do enjoy the video. Hopefully that is helpful so that a lot of you guys can actually clear this mode. I know it's not like too crazy for rewards or anything like that, but I think the mode is definitely nice because I think you get a title for clearing it. I'm not actually too sure. I have to check on my JP if I actually even got it. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it though, guys, for the run right there. So I hope you guys do enjoyed, and we'll see you guys on the next video, man. Peace out and have a great rest of your day, guys. See you later, man.